A very warm welcome to yet another Kumekucha video. Information and analysis that is very difficult to find anywhere else. I recommend that you subscribe and you hit the bell button so that you receive notifications every time I have a new video. Karibu sana and enjoy.
Lakini Wizara ya Ardhi, endeleeni hivyo hivyo, yale mashamba ambayo hayatumiki ya mtu yoyote ambayo yamekaa idle, muendelee kuyaleta kwangu, nitaendelea kuyafuta kwa mujibu wa sheria. Kwa sababu wapo watu wamechukua mashamba makubwa, maeneo makubwa katika nchi hii, wanakaa nyoka kwenye mashamba yao, lakini jirani kuna watu wamekosa ardhi ya kulima. Nimelipata sana sehemu za Tanga na Morogoro, watu wamehodhi maeneo makubwa, na baya zaidi, maeneo haya walioyahodhi wamekopea fedha, wengine wamekopa fedha mpaka nje ya nchi. Kwa hiyo sehemu ya ardhi hii ambayo tunaiona, nyingine tayari wakidefault, maana yake hii ardhi sio part ya eneo la Tanzania. Sasa hatuwezi tukaendelea na haya masuala ya Nyarubanjas and so on ambayo baba wa taifa aliyakataa. Tuliwapa mashamba yale wayaendeleze, na kwa mujibu wa sheria ya ardhi. Bahati nzuri mimi nimekaa Wizara ya Ardhi. Ukishapewa shamba unatakiwa kila mwaka unaendeleza 1/8 ya shamba. Sasa kuna watu wamekaa na mashamba haya zaidi ya miaka 20, zaidi ya miaka 30, hakuna chochote wanachokiendeleza. Na ukishayagusa wengine wanajaribu kufanya robbing. Hakuna cha robbing, hakuna cha nini. Shamba nikishalifuta, maana yake nimelifuta mimi.
Hiyo ni sauti ya Rais wa nchi ya Tanzania, John Pombe Magufuli. The best president in Africa, lakini watu wanakufa. The best president in Africa, lakini watu wanatekwa nyara. The best president in Africa, lakini mili ya watu waliokufa yanapatikana baharini. Vitu ambaye zijawahi kutendeka Tanzania. Lakini tumeambiwa tunyamaze. Ni kazi tu. Kazi ya kuua watu nini? Now that clip I've just played you of Tanzanian President John Pombe Magufuli is very revealing. Now regulars on this channel will remember when billionaire Mo Dewji was kidnapped last year in October. We told you on this channel the issue was land in Stigler's Gorge, adjacent to Stigler's Gorge, owned by the Mo Dewji family. And the government wanted this family to build their new hydroelectric dam. And the billionaire had refused to hand over the land. Indeed, he had told the government that he has taken, there are some loans, which he has used that land as security for. And some people on this channel said, rubbish. Mo Dewji hana shamba hapo. Chris Kumekucha umetudanganya. Well, you have now had it for yourself, not even from me. You have had it from Pombe Magufuli, daktari mwenyewe. In other words, sensational reports on this channel that Mo Dewji was kidnapped by the government, in a tussle for land, are panning out. They are proving to be 100% true. And the latest is that the building of that dam has started. The work has been given to an Egyptian contractor. This is despite complaints from experts who say it's a bad idea. It will affect the environment. Lakini Bulldozer President Daktari John Pombe Magufuli doesn't want to hear anything. Hiyo hydroelectric dam itajengwa, mpende mspende, maendeleo lazima. Now maybe let me just interrupt what I'm saying to offer my apologies, because I know I've taken a long time before producing a video on Tanzania. One of the reasons is the fact that I never feel comfortable producing content about Tanzania when I'm outside the country. I am totally unable to get a proper feel. For me to do a video, I need to be on the ground. I need to know exactly what is happening on the ground and what the local people, vile mwananchi yuko, hali yake halisi, ndio niweze kuproduce video ambaye ni ukweli na ukweli mtupu. Lakini nikiwa nje ya Tanzania ni guesswork. Na unajua guesswork si wakati wote guesswork huwa sahihi. Mara nyingi it's wrong. Because at the end of the day, I want to be a voice for the voiceless in Tanzania. The people who cannot speak in Tanzania because they'll end up dead or kidnapped or in very serious trouble with the draconian government of John Pombe Magufuli. Mimi ndio sauti ya mwananchi. Mwananchi ambaye wakati huu anaogopa kuongea. Na anaogopa kuongea kwa sababu nzuri sana. Na hiyo sababu mnajua. Now I want us to take a bit of time to understand the full impact of this new policy on land by President John Pombe Magufuli's government. Now just last month, the Tanzanian government revoked ownership of 6 farms owned by the Mohammed family, Dewji Mohammed family in Tanga. That was a month ago. Now yesterday, the government warned the family again that they will revoke ownership for 6 farms. Mashamba sita. And this warning was made in parliament by the Lands, Housing and Human Settlements Development Minister, William Lukuvi. These 6 farms are in Tukuyu, Rugwe, and Mbeya region. And the other 2 are in the Kilimanjaro area and in Tanga. The official position is that the government wants to ensure that land is used productively. Now, for those who doubted, this is very clear evidence that the government of John Pombe Magufuli is heading towards nationalization of everything. When you see a government taking over private property, under whatever excuse, then you know we're headed towards nationalization, where the government is the chief producer of everything. In the eyes of President Magufuli, private enterprise is foreigners, foreigners operating in Tanzania and gaining more than locals. And anything done by government is done by locals to benefit locals. That's how he looks at it. Now the truth is, this is an experiment that was tried by Hayati, the first president of Tanzania, Julius Kambarage Nyerere, and it failed miserably. But now Magufuli wants to repeat the same experiment, and he believes he will succeed. What? Now, with all due respect to President Magufuli, he is not an academic giant like the late Julius Kambarage Nyerere. With all due respect to President John Pombe Magufuli, he does not have the same experience as Nyerere had. And Nyerere failed. So will Magufuli succeed? I don't think so. It's rather obvious. Ukweli wa mambo ni kwamba Rais Magufuli, tukimpatia heshima zake zote, hawezi kupimana akili na hayati Julius Kambarage Nyerere, rais wa kwanza wa Tanzania, ambaye alifail vibaya sana alipojaribu kunationalize kila kitu Tanzania, hata mashamba. Alipojaribu kuhakikisha kwamba serikali inafanya biashara yote, na wekezaji, private investors wakatupuliwa mbali. Na sasa swali ni, je, Magufuli atafaulu mahali Nyerere alikosa kufaulu? Mahali Nyerere alifail, Magufuli atafaulu? Sidhani. This Magufuli policy can clearly be seen with what is happening in Air Tanzania. Now last month, the ATCL, Air Tanzania Company Limited, received the second Airbus Air 2300, in a lavish ceremony presided over by President John Magufuli. This new aircraft increased the Air Tanzania fleet to 3, from 2 to 3. They now have, of course, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, 1, and then they have 2 Airbuses, Airbus 200-300. Now, according to the president, the aircrafts are owned by the government, not by Air Tanzania. And therefore, the president warned Air Tanzania, if they don't use the aircrafts properly, he will take them back and lease them to other airlines, for the government to gain revenue from those aircrafts. Now, there's a very huge problem here, and the huge problem is this. President Magufuli's thinking is very faulty. While it is true, the national carrier of any country should be the pride of that country, at the end of the day, it's a business. It's a business that must work. Otherwise, the other alternative is for the government to subsidize that business. Now, the truth is, the bitter truth, is that the government of Tanzania cannot afford to subsidize a national carrier. Therefore, this national carrier has to make money. And currently, one of the hardest businesses in the world to make money from is the airline industry. It's very competitive. What the president is trying to do is to succeed where professionals like South African Airlines have failed. You will remember in the early 2000s, Air Tanzania, a substantial amount of shares of Air Tanzania were bought by South African Airlines. And South African Airlines, one of the most professional airlines on the continent, did very many things to try and make Air Tanzania profitable. One of them resulted in a very serious battle for business between South African Airlines and Kenya Airways. At the heart of the South African plan was to create a brand new hub for the continent via Dar es Salaam, via the Julius Kambarage Nyerere Airport in Dar es Salaam. And using their influence in South African Airlines and the experience, they attempted to create this new hub in East Africa and have most flights flying to the rest of Africa and the rest of the world going via Dar es Salaam. And they did many other things. And those carefully crafted business plans failed. Now, the truth is, the 3 aircrafts that the government has purchased are not suitable for short-range flights. I mean domestic flights within Tanzania. They are not economical to do those kinds of flights. They are purely designed for long-haul flights, long distance. Which means what the government wants to do is to expand its business internationally. What the government wants to do is to take away business from long-term professionals like Ethiopian Airlines, from Kenya Airways, and from the rapidly emerging Rwanda Airlines. Now, any aviation expert will tell you immediately that is a non-starter. That idea will not work. The long and short of what I'm trying to say is that President Magufuli is trying to do impossible things. Biashara ya kusafirisha watu kwa ndege ni biashara ambayo kuna ushindani wa hali ya juu sana. Na Rais Magufuli ameingiza nchi ya Tanzania kwa hii biashara. Kwa sababu zile ndege amenunua si ndege za kuruka hatua ya karibu. Ni ndege ambaye design yake imetengenezwa kuruka mbali na nchi za mbali. Lakini Air Tanzania ikiruka kwa nchi za mbali itakuwa imeingia kwa ushindani na ndege za nchi zingine ambaye ziko na ujuzi ya miaka nyingi. Kwa mfano Ethiopian Airlines. Kwa ufupi, hii sio biashara ambaye italeta hela kwa Tanzania. In fact, hii ni biashara ambaye itanyonya hela nyingi sana. Na italazimisha serikali kutoa hela kwa mpango zingine za maendeleo kwa wananchi na kuweka hizo hela katika biashara ambaye haizai. Hiyo ndio ukweli wa mambo. Now, the president can bulldoze and bully people within Tanzania, but there's no way he can bulldoze and bully people on international flights. Yeah, there's no way. You can't kill people so that Air Tanzania gets more business. You can't kidnap people and force them to fly on Air Tanzania. These are the well-known tactics of the draconian dictator of Tanzania. Kila kitu kifua, kifua. Hapa kifua haitazalisha. Hawezi kuforce nchi zingine kukupatia biashara. Hawezi. And to make matters worse, the policy of the current Tanzanian government is to keep out foreigners, and go for local talent, which is okay. It is good for the country to use local manpower. But what about if you don't have that local manpower? What about if you don't have qualified people locally? What about if you don't have experienced people locally? Qualified people in the airline industry are very few. There are very few Tanzanians who are qualified in this industry. And even those few working for airlines in other parts of the world, it will be very difficult to attract them to Tanzania. And even if you do, there will not be enough. For instance, the country doesn't have pilots. The country does not have pilots with the experience to fly huge passenger jets like the Boeing 787 and the Airbus A300. And it takes very many years to train a pilot, very many years. Flying a passenger jet is not a 6-month course. Hata ukiharakisha namna gani. The result is that Tanzania is headed for some very serious economic problems. The country is already experiencing those problems, but it will get much worse. Why? Because we have a government that is doing things that will not work. And to make matters worse, they have shut the mouths of anybody who can try and complain. For instance, opposition will now find it impossible to operate, because the new law which has been passed on political parties, should be very clear. The consequences of that should be very clear to everybody. Under this law, the registrar of political parties becomes the prefect of opposition parties, which gives the government in power enough power and leeway and all the legal instruments to micromanage opposition political parties. So the sum total of this is that there's no opposition in Tanzania. You cannot operate an opposition in Tanzania legally, not anymore. So bottom line, you're taking the country in the wrong direction and nobody can dare stop you. And nobody can stop you legally. Yani kwa ufupi, unapeleka nchi nzima kwa njia ambaye haifai. Lakini umepitisha sheria ambaye imepiga marufuku upinzani. Kwa hivyo, hakuna mtu wa kukusahisha. Nani atakusahisha? Kwa sababu kusahisha serikali sasa imekuwa kinyume cha sheria. Na Rais Magufuli alituambia kwamba yeye ajibiwi. Akishasema amesema, hakuna majadiliano. Very, very sad. It is sad that this once model East African country is no more. Tanzania has become a country headed by a brutal dictatorial government that is busy taking the country nowhere. And they have told everybody, shut up, we are working. Nyamazeni, hapa ni kazi tu. I had a very interesting comment from a local Tanzanian very recently. And this is what this man said. Huyu jamaa achukue hiyo maendeleo yake yote, afunge virago zake, aende na hiyo maendeleo yake. Hatuzitaki. Tunataka aturudishie Tanzania yetu ya zamani. Hiyo maendeleo yake, hiyo viwanda vyake, afunge virago, achukue zote, aende zake. Aturudishie nchi yetu ya zamani ambayo kulikuwa hakuna maendeleo, lakini pia kulikuwa hakuna mauaji, kulikuwa hakuna watu kutekwa nyara. Translation, this man should just pack up all his development, all his factories, everything, and go away and leave us alone and return to us our old underdeveloped country where there were no murders and no kidnappings. Until next time, this is Kshs, Kumekucha.